thing about the Bellingham music scene is...
Maybe that nobody can show up on time.
Bitchy hippies.
I can't think of anything much worse than hippie bands.
White boy funk.
Yeah.
People getting too caught up in like the scene, like people who don't play music and like just get involved in the whole like hipster deal, like who I know this person and like blah blah blah, so that makes my rank a little higher and stuff like that. Just that whole kind of deal just kind of makes me mad, like, or not mad, it's just kind of discouraging, like that certain people have like, or believe they have like this big power over the music scene when they don't play music and stuff like that. Like, it's a lot of girls that are like that. Not like, you know, it sounds like a sexist thing to say, but it's like band dudes have girlfriends and like, and the girlfriends hang out with all the band dudes and stuff, and it just ends up happening. I'm sure it's like that everywhere, but it's just that's my least favorite part about the music scene.
I think it's a little cliquey. I think it's hard to, I mean, this might not be difficult to get shows. Hold your horses, Jake. I mean, it might be pretty easy to get shows, but to establish yourself as an insider within the tight-knit, like, hardcore of, like, the people who play around town all the time and who are really well known, and people who all know each other. I mean, I guess it's open and friendly, but it's still intimidating in a way, because Bellingham's a town where you can be a big fish in a small pond pretty easy, and once you establish yourself, I think a lot of people, I don't know, it can seem complacent because people get established here and then they're the big wigs of the Bellingham music scene, you know. It's almost threatening to compete with, I think.
I really wish that people would stop leaving town, because that, yeah, I think that kind of takes away from the fermentation and the outgrowth, you know. I mean, I understand it too. It's not like for everyone to stay in a small town, but I miss people.
It's kind of a transitory town, you know. It's not, because of the college, you know, people are here for a while and they invest a lot, they throw all their energy into it, and then it's gone, right?
If you go to college and you spend all the money to get a college education and then you want not to work at the coffee shop anymore, you have to leave Bellingham, basically. So.
Well, yeah, unless you're lucky.
Yeah, unless you're really, really lucky.
It seems like most of the bands, once they reach a certain level, they go to Seattle or wherever.
There's not a whole lot to offer in the, excuse this lame concept, the making money aspect of things. And a lot of people, I think, once they play for a few years and play live shows and have fun and start recording and record a few CDs, they kind of feel like it's not really going anywhere, and the next logical step is to move to a bigger city where there's a lot more going on, or so you would think.
I think what we need is for people that start getting recognized outside of the region to not leave town. Like, that always seems to be a big issue, you know? Like, it seems like that happens notoriously.
But I think maybe it's okay because then people don't really find out about Bellingham.
Yeah, that might be a good thing too.
Hidden secret. It might be nice if a couple people found out about Bellingham, though.
Yeah, like really cool people. That's fine. But we don't want to be on the cover of Outdoors magazine ever again. I think that's very dangerous for the Bellingham scene.
This is what I fear. I'm not going to say it's the worst thing, but I would hope that bands would not get so caught up on being the big fish in the small pond, but realize that Bellingham is a great place to live. There's a good supportive scene here, but the only way to become a really good band is to go out. Bellingham's, it's here.
I think a lot of bands could do so much more if they just did it, you know. And there's so much talent in this town, and nobody seems to leave town to play shows or, you know, kind of do more, you know, live up to their potential more, I think.
There is something definitely about Bellingham. It's the same black hole principle that it just lends itself to laziness.
Yeah.
You can so easily be lazy in this town, you know.
That's the best thing about Bellingham.
Yeah, absolutely. It is for me, too, being what I consider to be the laziest human being on earth. It's fabulous for me.
Because you fit in with the norm here.
Totally.
I think it's just that like.
I think it's pretty good.
It's pretty cool, but sometimes it feels like being married more than like dating. It's just like I've lived with all these people, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, all their little idiosyncrasies and stuff, and all this stuff about their music, and you know, and that's really cool. But conversely, it's also kind of a bad thing that like your what you see isn't constantly being like disheveled. You know, the dust being knocked out of it, and it's constantly changing and rotating and stuff, because it is fairly consistent.
I guess it's just like that stagnation element of being in like an isolated small town in a sense, you know, like
satellite.
Like, it's really good sometimes. It's just like that aspect though can also be like sometimes the best part of it, because like weird, unique shit will happen, and you're like blown away, like that it's so original, but at the same time, just being
a lot of world out there.
Stagnant and just being like ignorant of the rest of the universe.
What do you think would improve the music scene?
An all-ages venue, a place for a place, well, an all-ages venue.
Yeah, a place like the Show Off.
A place like the Show Off that could do a show every night.
That can have shows legally, and you know that people know about, that isn't like in some little dirt-floored garage often out of town somewhere. You know, something that's like established downtown, and you know, you could bring your parents there, but like maybe your parents wouldn't like it, but they wouldn't be able to like shut it down, you know, just because like wouldn't be like dudes like drinking 40s and, you know, shooting up in the bathroom or anything like that.
It's a positive outlet for kids to go and not do all that fucked up shit. I mean, they want to go and because that's what people go to all ages show for. They go there for the music. It's even like when you go to a bar, a lot of the people that at the show are there to drink way more than to watch the music, even though they're watching. But when you go to an all ages show, if they're up front because they want to see music, and that's the only reason they're there.
Yeah. I mean, there's been 0 venues, there's been 3, but it's always fluctuating. It's just kind of frustrating because you're kind of to the point where you can't just play a show if you want to play a show. There's a lot more work that's involved in finding a place for it than I think there should be.
Punk rock kids are just really motivated, and they do things like zines and you know, like the Give a Fuck kids are amazing. You know, they bought this church on I Street, and they're going to be opening that up and running shows out of there.
Those guys, you know, they had nothing, you know, no space, nothing, and they've got everybody with pins and shirts on and everything like that.
The purpose of GAF, you know, I mean, it's fairly self-explanatory through the name, Give a Fuck. It's about actually caring about what's going on around you.
And You know, it really does something because people are asking themselves now, do you give a fuck?
What we want to do as a music venue is to be above ground and above board, and that's going to require going through a lot more hoops in order to make that happen.
Some support from the city would be really cool in that sense, so that, I mean, because the main problem with even the show-off gallery was that you couldn't flyer for it. So like parents couldn't necessarily drop their kids off there, and like, I don't know, it would be just cool to have a space where it was, you know, legitimate enough that you could tell everybody about it and that would be okay, and it didn't have to be a secret.
There was actually a time where you could pick or choose, or like I guess you had to pick and choose because you couldn't go to all the shows that were going on, and that's pretty exciting. But I haven't experienced that very much while I've been here, and it would be nice if that's how it was all the time, I think.
But I think that's probably anybody's complaint. Like almost all towns, it seems like, just no support for all ages. People want to do it, there's support, but you know, it's hard to do it if you don't have financial backing, because it doesn't make a lot of money. So.